Hey you guys, this is Jeff, Bookhouse Boy. I know that I've spoken at length about doing a vintage horror kind of run through of what I have. Prior to doing that, I have a tiny little mini book haul. And I know if you've seen any of my prior big hauls, I said that there's absolutely a moratorium on buying books. I'm pulling on the reins, I'm putting on the brakes, all that good stuff. Absolutely true, except for these two books. You know how it is. So anyways, these obviously have something to do with that big vintage. I don't even know if I should call it vintage. I don't know exactly what gets into vintage versus antique, but this is old school horror, and it's going to be an awesome time talking about. It's going to be an awesome time for me talking about those old horror books. So this is kind of like the last two that I wanted to have in hand before getting into that video. And so this is just kind of, this is a little hors d'oeuvre. This is a little amuse-bouche before we get into it. So let's get into these two and see what we've got. All right. I know what these are. These are both from different countries, but they're both written by the same author. This author has become one of my favorites of all time. Oh, sorry. More tape. There's always more tape, but it's okay. A little bit of bubble wrap. All right, I'm actually gonna take this one out of the bubble wrap second, and I'll explain why. So stand by. Okay, we're gonna do this one first. Yeah, this one came out of the World's End bookstore. Excuse me, the World's End bookshop on King's Road in London, and look at that, very cool. So yeah, this one traveled. I've had my eye on both of these books for a while. They're not insanely expensive. I guess that's subjective, right? Like everything else. But they weren't cheap either. When you get into, it's interesting, you get into some of the old stuff, it's not really expensive at all. Then you get into some other titles and it's just crazy insane. So I had been looking for a while to try and find these books, you know, at a price I could afford. And I finally did. Very well packed, which is awesome. I appreciate it. Can't get it open though. Can't do it. All right, I just have to. Sorry, if you don't like this sound, just turn down the volume for a sec. That wasn't bad at all. Bubble wrap, you know, again, very, this one was very well wrapped, the one from the World's End bookshop in the UK, comparatively. Not that the other one was poorly wrapped, but, you know, little bubble wrap in a box. This one was in a box, wrapped up with quite a bit of bubble wrap. Oh, and then actually wrapped. Look at that. World's End Bookshop, London. with some happy frogs. That's nice. It's like Christmas. Okay. So the reason I wanted to open this one first when I realized what that one was is that this is really the first book of stories that this author published. I don't know why I have so much trouble with these things. And then some more paper. So well packed. Oh. Okay. So freaking cool. I'm so freaking excited. I don't know what to do with myself. Ghost Stories of an Antiquary by M.R. James. That's Montague Road James. You guys, this author is just insane. There's little, oh wow. They actually included a very cool little card here that tells me all I need to know. Published in London by Edward Arnold, 1919, third edition in the publisher's original pale brown cloth, lettered in Gothic style black lettering, etc., etc. I'll get into it during the antique horror video that I'm going to get into, but you guys, it's yeah. Then this guy. His second book. More ghost stories. Look at the bat on this guy. Is that sick? I mean, more ghost stories of an antiquary. I'm gonna, yeah, we'll leaf through this a little bit so that you guys can see what's in here, but or maybe we'll save that for the endless nonsensical gibberish that'll flow out of me when I talk about this stuff in detail. But in the meantime, there we have it. Ghost Stories of an Antiquary and More Ghost Stories of an Antiquary by Montague Road James. You guys have got to pick up some of his stories if you have not already. Trust me, you're going to love them. In the meantime, this is Jeff, Bookhouse Boy. I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks.